Welcome to the 420 Somewhere podcast. I'm your host, 420. Let's get the smoke started. All right, so we always start with first segment of the podcast, Weed 101. And then that I go over the strain that I'm smoking this week. So strain of the week is Magic Melon. Parents of the strain, they got 3 parents, so hold up. We got Mango Trees, we got Honeydew Lemon, and then we got Mango Sherbet all in one strain. This is going to be a 60% sativa and a 40% indica. So it smells like very fruity, like you would imagine Magic Melon would smell like fruit, berries. It smells like melon. It tastes like tropical mango, has that little zesty citrus taste to it, that little citrus note when you're hitting it, and it's like the aftertaste, you taste that zesty. It's almost like a pungent taste. And the breeders of this is called Humboldt Seed Company, and they're located in Humboldt, CA. It's a county there in California, and that's where they're located and originated. This beautiful strain. I love it. 10 out of 10. It's uplifting, euphoric. It gets the job done. Definitely a body and a head high. So that's why I say 10 out of 10. Hits all the spots, checks all the boxes. You're welcome. So now we're going to go on to the fun stuff. Now that we got the weed stuff out of the way, we're going to go into what I like to call mental health 101. Because, you can never have too much mental health. Learn about your mental. We're going to go over what a narcissist is and then what an echoist is. So I know a term that usually isn't used and people don't really know what the hell echoists are or echoism. So we're going to go into that. But first, I'm going to tell you what a narcissist is. A narcissist is a person with an excess need for admiration and an inflated sense of self-importance, aka they're self-absorbed like a motherfucker. All they care about is themselves. They lack empathy for others and have a deep need for attention. This personality disorder occurs mostly in males than females. I mean, it still occurs in females. It's just widely populated on the male side of the species. It can manifest in different ways, though, between both genders. So with a narcissistic female, it tends to be more of like jealousy and competition and kind of like sabotaging almost, if you will, as opposed to like the males who they kind of lead more in a dominance ego type of way, who has the bigger dick contest. If you ever heard that term, whose dick is bigger, it's when men are just like, they both have egos and they just are going at it. So it's more common for a woman to kind of be more jealous in a sense versus a man who they tend to hide their jealousy a lot more, and it's more egotistic in, a narcissist perception. So now that we mentioned what a narcissist is, basically a self-absorbed, egotistic, just all about themselves. They have no empathy. Now we're going to go to the opposite of that. And this is still a mental health disorder. So this is still, a personality disorder. It's called an echoist. So I'm going to go into that. So echoism is the opposite of a narcissist. Echoists are often people who feel the need to take care of others, be a caretaker, kind of putting others before themselves in probably the most unhealthy way. So when I say the most unhealthy way, it's literally what it sounds like. You're bending over backwards for a person who wouldn't bend over backwards for you. You just feel like you have to please them and you had to satisfy them, whether it makes you happy or not. Whether doing what they say makes you happy or not, you just feel like you have to fulfill what they say goes. Echoists are often people who feel the need to take care of others at their own expense. They shy away from praise, not voicing their own thoughts and opinions, and people pleasing. They feel like they're not good enough. So narcissists require that they have their egos being fed, and then the echoist is the person feeding their egos. So it kind of is like a perfect match in an ugly world, is what I like to call it. So if you have a narcissist, odds are that their partner is an echoist, because odds are with a narcissist, they're very hard to deal with. They're very hard to handle. They don't really have too many friends or people that surround them, because people know the real truth about who they are. So for you to know the real truth of who a narcissist is and you stick around, you're honestly labeled as an echoist. It's almost like an abusive relationship. The narcissist is feeding off of what the echoist is giving them, and then vice versa. They're feeding off of the narcissist that's telling them what to do and telling them a harsh reality of what they think reality is. Many people confuse an echoist for an introvert because they have so many similar tendencies. Like they tend to be more reserved, more shy, more quiet. But introverts, they're quiet and shy, but in their minds, in their mental state, they are very aware that what the other person is doing can be harmful to them or harmful to others. They're not really people pleasers, introverts. They're more like they shy away from people, especially narcissists. Introverts don't even want to go near a narcissist because they're that intimidated by them. But echoists are like flocking to the narcissist. So that's the biggest difference between the two. Egoism is unhealthy because it can lead to a person being taken advantage of, or like an abusive situation. Like they just will stay with that person no matter what. Doesn't matter what they do to that person until they kill them, essentially. That's when they will detach from that person. So now that we got that description out of both sides, now we're going to go into 10 signs that you're dating a narcissist. 1, they were charming at first. They don't make you feel important or special anymore. They may even stop complimenting you and start complimenting someone else. You know, you've had that experience where you start dating someone. They're so nice, like, oh my God, you're so sexy, you're so this, you're so that. And then, you know, months, maybe years go by and they stop complimenting you as much. They stop, maybe, I don't know, commenting on your pictures that you post. Maybe they even stop liking them, and maybe they start liking somebody else's pictures and start commenting on their pictures and start complimenting them on like a daily basis or a weekly basis or what have you. Maybe you're noticing changes in how they're reacting to you as a person. Number 2, they hog the conversation and talk about how great they are and all the great things that they've accomplished in life or are going to accomplish. You find yourself listening more than you do talking, because a narcissist just talks about themselves all the time. They could go on and on and on and on for hours about what they have planned in the future that's so great, what they did in the past that was so great, what they're up to that's so great. And you haven't even said a goddamn thing about your life and what you did. And they started the conversation saying, oh, so what are you up to? Or how are you doing? And all you said was good. And you? Like a normal person? And then they just go on and on and on about themselves until you have to tell them to stop. That's, narcissist. Just right there, red flag. Run for the hills. They feed off of your compliments. So let's say, for instance, just throwing an experience out there with a narcissist, you compliment, like they send you a picture, right, of themselves. This actually happened. They send you a picture of themselves to you, and then you're like, oh, I like your glasses, nice glasses, because you notice there's new sunglasses in the picture. And then they're like, well, why didn't you say anything about my gold chain that I'm wearing? You know I never wear gold chains. You know I'm not that kind of person to wear gold chains. Well, what about my gold chain? Do you like it? Like, homie, I just complimented your glasses. Why are you now saying that I should compliment your gold chain and bringing attention to your gold chain? Nobody cares. That's what a narcissist does, though. You compliment one thing that you like or that grasps your attention, and they try to draw your attention to something else and try to like dig or fish for a compliment on whatever the hell that they want. They just want to keep feeding off your compliments. So that's another one. That's number 3. Number 4, they lack empathy. So seeing other people cry by something that they said, because like narcissists can be very deceiving. So that's why I say that they don't have empathy towards people when they're the ones being accused of hurting them. When it's someone else, they like to play the consoler, someone that helps you. Oh, don't feel that way. It'll all be okay. No. This is what I'm saying, is that they don't show empathy from stuff that they said or did to hurt you. So if you start crying in front of them over something they said or over something they did, they'll say, "Why are you crying? It's not even that big of a deal. It's not even that serious." Like, they try to downplay the emotions, they don't apologize. That's a narcissist. Because regardless of who you are, if that's the person that you love and you just hurt their feelings or you made them feel so bad that they burst into tears, that should never be your response. You're literally should never be. You should have some type of empathy for seeing the person that you love being upset over something that you said and you did, even if it wasn't intentional or you didn't mean it to come off that way. Fucking apologize. Like, what? Narcissists will never apologize. So there's that. Number 5, they don't have many long-term friends. I know this from firsthand because said narcissist that I was talking about with that little picture incident of the gold chain thing did not have many friends, like no long term. He made a lot of short term friends, what have you. Hi and bye, yeah, you're friendly. But long term people to stick around and continue being your friend, everybody dropped him like flies because he is a narcissist. Like, once you realize someone's a narcissist and you get to know who they truly are, you'd stay away from them. So when they don't have long-term friends, red flag right there. Okay, narcissist. Think about it. Just think about it. Maybe they're an introvert, but even introverts have friends. Okay, they're friends with other introverts and long-term friends. I'm talking about like 10 years plus type shit. Like, they can handle a long-term friendship. Anyways, number 6, they pick on you when you're upset. So in the middle of an argument, they start picking on you and saying things like, "Oh, you shouldn't be crying. Oh, like, what are you, a crybaby?" Like, any type of thing to make you feel bad for your reaction to what's happening. Number 7, they gaslight you. They spin the blame on you. Mistelling the story, literally, like saying facts that was never facts, going off track on saying something else, and you're like, "That never happened, homie. Where the fuck were you at?" Or what is happening? Like, that never even happened. They're just mistelling a whole miscommunication and then leaving out details of shit that they actually did and said. Or either they don't remember that they said that or whatever, but they trying to reenact it and they reenacting it incorrectly. Narcissist right there, okay? You trying to shed light, making yourself the victim and the other person's the bad guy? No. That's a narcissist. Whether you're a woman or a male, that's still narcissist behavior. Number 8, they bring out situations and topics that have nothing to do with the issue at hand or with the conversation. So let's say you talking about art, right? Oh, I just bought some nice art, right? A narcissist is going to be like, "Look at this new car that I bought. Look at that. I bought this. I got this. Isn't it cool?" Like, they just try to take the spotlight, even if it has nothing to do with the topic. Or let's say if you in a fight, right? You in an argument with a narcissist. That's the worst, because you be talking about how I don't know, fucking pineapple shouldn't be on pizza, right? And then they're like, "Nah, pineapple should be on pizza." You know why pineapple should be on pizza? Because I had a shitty day the other day and blah, 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 blah. Like, they'll go off about something else. And it's like, you're trying to win an argument by an outside factor that has nothing to do with the issue at hand. Like, you over here talking about what you got at McDonald's and we're talking about pineapple on pizza. Like, it's so left field what you bringing into the conversation or the argument. It's just because that's what you want to talk about. That's narcissistic behavior. Throwing it out there. All right. Number 9, we're almost done, I promise. Number 9, they use your secrets against you to be mean and spiteful. So literally, like, you be telling them a whole secret, right? Like, "Oh, I shoplifted when I was younger." All right. "Oh, and I never got caught." Okay. So then in the middle of a fight, like, You fighting. And then they're like, oh, well, at least I didn't steal shit when I was 16. Excuse me, sir. Told you that in confidence. Or ma'am, I told you that in confidence. Why are you using it against me? I don't appreciate that. That's rude. That's what a narcissist does. You tell them a secret, and then they use it against you when they're mad. Whether it has to do with the fucking topic that you're arguing about or not, they're still going to label you a bad person for that one secret that you said in confidence when you guys were at a good place with each other. Now, using it against you when you're not in a good place. It's fucked up. Narcissist. Boom. And lastly, the very last thing, signs that you're dating a narcissist, is everything is always everyone else's fault. It's never their fault. I got into a car accident. That person wasn't paying attention and I ran into them. What? They wasn't paying attention, so you ran into them? Like, so it wasn't your fault. It wasn't that you wasn't paying attention. It was they wasn't paying attention, or they did something. It wasn't you did something. Narcissist. Now we're going to go into our last segment. Good old porn 101. So we're wrapping up the year of porn, right? Because good old 2022 is ending and we're getting ready for 2023. There'll be different categories that are the top searches. But this one, we're going to look at 2022's top 10 searches just in PornHub. Number 1, lesbian. No brainer there. Everybody wants to watch girl on girl action, apparently. Number 1, that's the number 1 top search. Number 2, which I never heard of. I had to research this. And I'm not a fan of it, to be very honest. Hentai. Hentai. That is like anime porn. I had to do Google. I had to do a whole watching of a hentai video. I'm not a fan. I don't know how the fuck it made top 2. Like it was number 2 on the list. But that's what it is. All right. Number 3, ebony. Of course, ebony. Ebony beauty. Number 4, Latina. Because everybody likes a Latina with their asses jiggling. Number 5, Asian. Which I thought would be actually above ebony, to be honest, is Asian. Because I've seen a lot of Asian porn. I don't know why. I just seen a lot. But they be blurring out their shit sometimes. Kind of gets annoying. Number 6, threesome. Number 7, which I find weird, stepmom. This is the only step anything. I've always seen like stepdads, stepsister. No, it's just stepmom made it into the top 10. Okay. Number 8, big tits. I could see. Number 9, followed by big tits, is BBC. And finally, number 10, all the way down at the bottom, cream pie, which is actually kind of sad. I thought cream pie would be like in the top 5, but it really wasn't. It's all the way down to number 10. Interesting. So now we're going to go into some interesting, the 10 most interesting top searches by state that I saw. I thought they were very intriguing. So we're going to go by state and see what the fuck they had as their top search. Number 1, Oregon. They had furry as their top searches for 2022. They like some furries in Oregon. Basically what I got out of that one. Number 2, Florida. They like their BBCs. You know, I mean, who doesn't? I guess in Florida, that's how they throw down. Washington. They like their fleshlights. I guess that's what they watch in fucking Washington. Interesting. Texas, number 1 search was panties. Literally panties. Not a thong, not a specific type of panty, just panties. Pennsylvania, they like their hairy pussies up in Pennsylvania. That was the top fucking search in 2022, was hairy pussy. Colorado, their porn searches over there was goth. 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 Utah, they like to look up some Mormons fucking, I guess, because their number 1 search was fucking Mormon. Who wants to watch a Mormon fuck? Like, I'm just sorry. Wisconsin, They like to watch some pegging, apparently. Top 10 searches, y'all. Not even lying. New York Times. Okay? New York Times. And this information was gathered by PornHub, obviously. Ohio. Ohio taught me a new term. Never heard of this before. But it's called PMV. PMV. Now, I did a Google, I did a whole thing in PornHub. It stands for porn music video. Tell me how there's people making music videos during a porn. Like they're literally singing while getting fucked. Stop it right now. So fucking Ohio, they like to watch that shit apparently. That was the first time I ever watched it was today. I was today years old. When I saw that that's a thing, that's fucking wild. And lastly, South Carolina, they top searched GILF. I'm just not sure which GILF. It didn't like specify. Was it grandpa I'd like to fuck? Is it grandma I'd like to fuck? I don't know. So we're just gonna go with grandparents that I'd like to fuck because it didn't specify which G. That's all I got for today's podcast. It was an interesting one. And a doozy. I had fun with all the research and all the stories I got to share about narcissists and going over the top 10 porn searches with you guys. That was a good time. So hopefully I'll have some better content next week. We'll see what next week brings. But for now, that's the end of the podcast, and I'm going to go enjoy this wine.